tag team. Barry McDermott, John Wells. First voice, Bill Arthur.
Hull FC have not been beaten in the Challenge Cup for almost 3 years. Their last defeat was a 6-24 home quarter-final reverse to Leeds in June 2015. Since then, 8 straight victories, all against Super League opposition. Can Championship Featherstone Rovers bring that winning run to an end? We are underway here in Post Office Road, Featherstone, and it's Featherstone Rovers with first touch of the ball and a former Hull player in possession. In Scott Wheeldon, who plays the ball, and I'm certain that Featherstone will be giving it their all in these opening moments to try and rattle the cup holders and put them out of their stride. A Hull side that's possibly already just trying to find its stride with so many changes, particularly in the halves where you've got Carlos Tuimavave and Jake Connor partnering each other.
It's important to say, Bill, isn't it, that they're enforced changes as well. You know, they would have wanted to go into this competition to defend this trophy with a full complement, both Mark Sneed and Albert Kelly out with injuries. So a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Tuimavave, more so Jake Connor. I think he's up to the challenge of an outstanding start to the season.
First kick of the game from Martin Ridyard, a deep one which Beretta Faraimo returned. And now here's the other winger, Fetuli Talanoa, playing the ball. And his fullback, Jamie Shaw.
Those are good meters for Hull FC. Those 3 players made more in their carries than the entire set of 6 for Featherstone Rovers. They should know better than anybody how to get themselves out of that corner, but Jamie Shaw, his urgency, earns his side a penalty. Lee Radford, he knows that this is a hotbed of rugby league. Plenty of people come out here to support the local side.
Referee Scott Michalowskis awarding the first penalty of the game to Hull FC, and immediately they are on the attack and only about 12 metres out now. John Duffy, the Featherstone Rovers coach, watching on as the first attack of the game comes to nothing. The pass from Tuimavave ricocheting off Minichiello back to Tuimavave.
There's a miscommunication. It was an attempt at a no-look pass from Tuimavave, eyes showing out the back and then hitting the front runner, but he fooled his front runner too in Mark Minichiello. And the first stumble. Barry, it's an old-fashioned question. What's the pitch worth? What's the slope on the pitch worth?
Well, the general consensus is it's 10 to 12 points, and Featherstone, having played up this hill or find themselves in a position to play up this hill, will know the importance of using that energy wisely. You see that first tackle there getting driven back those 3 metres. Every metre is vital.
Is Luke Burgess very much focus on him tonight. And Featherstone struggling to make the yards. Connor Farrell now. 4 tackles gone, still inside their own 40, and Ridyard, well, I thought he was going to put a kick in there. He was Lockwood now, just over the 40-metre line. And now it is Ridyard, and Ridyard, well, they're running it. And Farrell it is then who kicks. And it's straight into the arms of Jamie Shaw.
This is where they're so dangerous, Bill, as well. Off the kick return, they're limiting the metres that Featherstone Rovers are taking, and now I think they've got arguably the most dynamic back 3 in Super League. Jamie Shaw, one of the best fullbacks knocking around, he's got a great pass on him as well. And the wingers are really working to provide options for the fullback. He works hard to take the catch on the full, and then you're challenging that kick chase, particularly on the edges, right from the first play.
Hull looking threatening already in this game. Here is Dean Hadley.
Heavy contact from John Davis, number 12. Hits hard, uses every ounce of his weight.
Connor throws the long ball out to Josh Griffin, and Griffin carves his way back infield, carves his way through. He's got Connor in support. First try of the game will go to the black and whites. And Jake Connor will claim it. But Josh Griffin created it with his scything run. And Featherstone Rovers had no answer to that run from Josh Griffin. Leading tackle busts for Hull FC this season, and there's further evidence of it.
Well, the fans are used to seeing a Griffin tear it up on this pitch. Brother Darryl played here for many years, but look at that footwork, look at that acceleration. You have to say that the defensive effort wasn't the best, but Jake Connor, who I feel will have a field day, giving early ball, letting the big players, and Carlos Trumavave, an exceptional reader of the game, a natural ability to play the game from both 6 and 7 in Jake Connor and Carlos Trumavave, gets the first try for the black and whites.
That looks ominous for Featherstone Rovers. If they can't contain the running strength of Josh Griffin, then it could be a long night.
There's plenty of sides that can, and they struggle to contain the running threat of Josh Griffin. But what about the passing threat of this man? I think this could well be a breakthrough season where he starts to announce himself as one of the top quality players in Super League.
He can kick goals as well, can Jake Connor. And Hull FC 6-0 up, 5 minutes, nearly 6 minutes on the clock. Lee Radford satisfied with that start.
Yeah, it's a fearsome sight, isn't it, seeing Josh Griffin in full flight, draws the fullback, and Jake Connor, who provided the pass that put Josh Griffin in the space to start with, he's on hand on the inside to score the opening points of the game.
Well, there was a willingness to throw the ball by Jake Connor. Of course, that was the first stage. But you'd look at the defence of Conor Farrell and Martin Ridyard and say, they've got a really good look at Josh Griffin there. There's no deception there. He's run straight between two shoulders that had a good view of him. Defence not good enough, but there's a lesson for Featherstone. Hull are willing to throw the ball around. If Featherstone want to get something out of this game, they've got to make sure the referee doesn't penalise them trying to slow the ruck down too much, but they've also got to take the chance themselves. They had a little chance in the previous set. Martin Ridyard down the short side didn't go with it. They need to chance their arm if they're going to get a result.
Houghton, scampering run from him. Davis with the tackle. John Davis. And now his Jake Connor drills the ball downfield, and Anthony Thackeray, full-back for Featherstone Rovers, 7 on his back. Then finds Sean Robinson. Sean Robinson involved in Giant Killing Act last season. He was a member of the Swinton side that eliminated the Huddersfield Giants. In fact, Robinson got a try in that game. That was a case of the underdogs, a rarity in Challenge Cup football these days. A giant killing act, but Swinton, under that point, John Duffy managed to produce that. Here is Ridyard to Thackeray. Thackeray, it's Griffin who steals the ball from him in a one-on-one situation.
Nothing wrong with that, just powers that ball out of his arm. Featherstone player looking for the floor, and Griffin just rips it out of his grasp. And yet again, they're in good ball territory. Too big and too strong for Thackeray then, Griffin.
Here's Josh Bowden. And the game being played, for the most part, deep in Featherstone Rovers territory. Little step from Joe Westerman. Westerman back in the black and white after his short stint with Toronto. And Westerman gets it away, and now it's with Connor. Connor, short ball. That is good defence. Great defence from Scott Wheeldon. And then just wanting to slow it down still further.
He knows exactly what he's doing there. Knows the line is broken. A desperate tackle. What a beautifully weighted pass it was from Jake Connor. Just enticed the defence. Split them open. Wheeldon makes the tackle and gives away the penalty.
So more pressure for Featherstone Rovers to try and withstand. Hull 10 metres out. Connor loops around, gets the pass away. Bowden very nearly out the door. He's gone down, Josh Bowden, and he's in pain.
He's hurt there. During the warm-up, I saw Hull FC hit that front door runner virtually every time, and he's in some real trouble there. Josh Bowden takes the short ball, has a defender right around his knees, and it's your man John Davis, and look at the awkward fall, the awkward way he lands. Of course, Mark Sneed not involved in this game. He picked up a knee injury last week. I hope he's okay. He's juddering and shaking a little bit too much.
It's actually the it's the left knee I think there's an issue with. I wonder whether, because the right knee's locked up in a tackle, it's the left knee that's grabbing attention. Whether there's been some unexpected weight being put on that. The right knee that's moving is the one that the Featherstone defender had a hold of, and it's the left knee just there. Oh dear, oh dear.
Puts a
That
lot
looks
of
like a
weight on that,
dislocation
doesn't
to me.
It does look, John's right there, it does look like a sort of a dislocation.
It's a really heavy, unexpected weight on that left leg.
There's a clunk.
You could see on the previous angle, you're right, you could see a clunk on it. That's a good way to describe it, Barry. It's he's off.
He's up on his feet, but he's been helped off the field. Lee Radford has problems already to contend with. Scott Taylor not available.
Mickey Payer
for this one.
And it's a big blow as well, because I think Josh Bowden's been one of the really bright spots for all of season so far. He's been exceptional.
Well, he had a great 2017 season. Danny Washbrook is the man who'll come on.
It's going to be a while getting off here. He's in a really bad way. It's one less huge body now for Featherstone Rovers to have to contend with. It's
really struggling, isn't it?
Danny Washbrook's coming on. You'd assume he's going to go somewhere in that back three. So one of the Minicello, Manu, Westerman, one of those players potentially is going to push up, unless Danny Washbrook, you mentioned before the game his versatility. He can play as a middle unit player.
we've got to have a better system. We've got to have a better system.
Is he not a stretcher case?
We've got to have a better system than
I
this.
know we're looking back to the 1980s and all that.
Some players, the pride will forbid them from sitting down on the stretcher, but I think sometimes you've got to admit defeat. Just while we've had the breaking play as well.
Okay, go.
Well, back in action as Josh Bowden is still on the side of the field, and Danny Washbrook is into the action. And that ball's come loose. The referee says play on. And it's with Westerman still spinning and revolving almost to that try line, and then just driven back at the last. So the ball's flung out to Connor. Here is Tuimavave, weaving run from Carlos Tuimavave. He's almost there. Featherstone Rovers desperately defending their line now.
That's good pressure, but not good execution of the tackle. And
still going, Sikamanu stretches out. And does he get the ball down? He does. Featherstone Rovers couldn't contain him.
Didn't look
And a second attempt. And Sikamanu extends Hull FC's lead with his first Challenge Cup try, his third try of the season all told.
It was good initial pressure from the defensive line. I mean, it's not the sort of thing you do in isolation. We'll have a look at the strip ball that put the possession in Hull FC, and then the position as well. That was compounded by the penalty that Scott Wheeldon has given away. And then the rush up from Carlisle, well, the idea was right, the execution was all wrong. Nobody on him, so free to play on that point. And then ground the ball beside the post. No problem with that whatsoever. This is going to be 12-0.
Well, Bill, I'm noticing a pattern here. The physicality and the size and the power that Hull are playing with, Featherstone can't handle.
And they've presented Jake Connor with another formality in the goal-kicking duties. He extends Hull's lead to 12 points to 0.
Unless Featherstone can come to terms with the power, the size and the determination of the ball carriers from Hull, they're making those tackles, they're getting in the way, but they're not finishing them off. We've seen quite a few late offloads that have caught Featherstone by surprise. That's the worst of two evils. Late offloads or more likely line breaks. John Duffy probably sending that message down. Come on, let's lock up the ball and get the play to ground.
Is John Duffy considering making an early change to his rotation policy, because they've had no penetration at all in possession, Featherstone have, and they've really struggled in defence. You know, at what point did they bring Gareth Hock into the equation here to try and spice things up a little bit?
He might be saving him for when they're going downhill, Bill.
No sign of the former Wigan man warming up, and again they break, and Hadley. Burgess with the Briscoe with the tackle. Here's Minicello now, steps inside, Mark Minicello. up to the halfway line. Featherstone really struggling to contain FC at the moment. Just inside the Featherstone half. Here comes Griffin again. Griffin. Davis with the tackle. That's the fifth, and Connor hoists a high kick towards Thackeray. Thackeray is underneath it, none too convincingly. It's picked up by Tuimavave. It's the free play. Still on his feet, Carlos Tuimavave. Gets it away to Shaw. Shaw weaving his way across the field. Eventually brought down. Now his Sikamanu. 12 minutes out. 12 metres out, I should say. Houghton. Westerman. 2 tackles gone. Bang in front of those posts. Here's Joe Westerman. Here's Jake Connor. There's another Hull FC try. And they really are having a field day at the moment. Referee Scott Miklauskas has not awarded the try. First job of the night for Ben Thaler, the video ref, and it's checked for obstruction.
Here we go.
Phil Bentham is the video ref here tonight. Beg your pardon, Ben Thaler tomorrow night.
Play, Danny Houghton feeds Westerman. Washbrook goes through. That's a bad defensive read for me, nothing wrong with that. Jake Connor strolls into the gap.
What was Martin Ridyard thinking? That's Ridyard and Conor Farrell again.
Well, Martin Ridyard's almost obstructed his own player.
Nothing wrong with this.
Okay. Time.
Try is awarded after a quick review by Phil Bentham. And Jake Connor. Another try for him.
Connor's lining up the conversion, but he was also the proponent of that high spiral bomb, which gave Hull FC more possession. Westerman ball handling forward, that's what they've been looking for since the departure of Liam Watts.
Connor's try and Connor's conversion, and Hull already ahead by 18 points to 0, despite the loss of Josh Bowden to that knee injury.
Well, the ruck and the play the ball seems a simple conundrum to solve, but for Featherstone this evening, even when they commit 3 players, they don't manage to get the Hull FC player in a less dominant position, so consequently there's a late retreater, and players like Jake Connor and Carlos Tuimavave are going to have a field day.
The only cloud on Hull's horizon at the moment is that injury suffered by Josh Bowden. Angelique Powers has been on the case. Ange.
Well, you're right. We did see Bill, didn't we? That as he went down, his knee seemed to jar and looked like a dislocation at one of the camera angles. But I've had a quick chat with the bench, and they're concerned. They're not concerned about it being a dislocation. They don't know quite what it is. And since they had a look at it on the bench, he's since limped off into the changing room to have a further inspection. So as soon as I get more news, I'll let you know.
Josh Bowden in that changing room at the moment. His side well ahead in this game already.
It's one of them ones, Bill. Sometimes you get better views with all the different cameras, and you can see things maybe that the medical staff can't initially discover. Barry, I'll go back to your point about Featherstone Rovers. I think the major, you're right, they have got some issues in attack. They've got guys who've played. Martin Ridyard's played Super League matches, and a fair few of them. I've never seen him at such 6s and 7s defensively.
It's talking to 7s. Anthony Thackeray has put another one down right in front of his own posts.
Well, it looks like Featherstone are beating themselves at the minute. They'll have played all year and not made as many basic mistakes as they've made in the opening 15 minutes or so.
That's the point in this. This is not Hull FC throwing exceptional attack at you. They put up 2 bombs, they've been dropped. There's a couple of plays they've run defensively. Here's the second one that Thackeray's let go. Josh Griffin runs between 2 players. Martin Ridyard makes a horrendous defensive read. almost blocks Conor Farrell, and then they stroll in for 2 tries from those. So you're right, Barry, they are ultimately beating themselves at this stage. They need to get a grip of this game pretty quickly.
They need to quieten that voice in the mind that's telling them to do something different. Do what you're good at, do it to the best standard you can, and you're going to give yourself a chance to compete.
Well, at the moment, all they're doing is defending, and they've got Josh Griffin running towards them again, and Griffin taking on 4 of them and almost getting over the line. Eventually, he's pushed back for Raimo. Finds Connor. Connor quickly on to Sika Manu in the middle of the field. Rovers there to stop him.
There you go, 3 defenders. Late retreat, they do it in the end, but they've got to commit some energy into that.
Houghton, Tuimavave shows it to Talanoa. He cuts back infield. Featherstone managing to keep him at bay at the moment. Talanoa struggling to get to his feet. Houghton sweeps it out to Westerman. Westerman on to Connor. That's better. Well, it was from Talapapa. It looked, but Shaw gets away, and still going. Jamie Shaw. Eventually, he is brought down by Conor Farrell. Houghton, Danny Washbrook. That's the 5th tackle. This is better defensively from Featherstone. Connor kicks crossfield. Good hanging kick. Talanoa goes up for it. And the ball comes back, and it's a penalty to Featherstone Rovers for offside in the end.
You can hear a big sigh of relief from everybody wearing the blue shirts of Featherstone Rovers. A kick to the corner, and it seems an eternity since they've had the ball, and they've virtually had it 0 chances near their opposition's line. So it's important they get good length on that kick, which they have done, and they spend some time with the ball in their hands.
First penalty of the game for Featherstone Rovers. And they're in uncharted territory, really, into Hull FC's 40. And now then, have they got a threat in attack?
Look at the difference, the ruck control, the way that they're putting those Featherstone players on the back. Here's your man.
Hock is on. Here is Thackeray. Talapapa. Robinson cuts back in field. Ridyard gets the pass away to Holmes. Thackeray, 10 metres out. Tuimavave with the tackle for Hull FC, back on their own try line. Ridyard now. Across the field comes Ridyard. Keith Carlisle's ball finds Conor Farrell. Former Wigan, Widnes and Workington, and finally at a non-WU club, Conor Farrell. Keith Carlisle. Ridyard. Little grubber kick comes in, and in the end, well, Burgess is Briscoe is claiming something, and Scott Mikolauskas
Can we just check the restart, please?
wants to check the restart.
I mean, he certainly got a hand to it.
Some good stuff from Featherstone there. Came from the tap. Some nice play. At last started to cool and calm down. A nice little dab through from Tom Holmes.
It's important to know there's no question that there's a try or no try. That's not what they're looking for. It's how to restart the game here.
Does he touch it?
Okay.
I'm sure Briscoe touches it, but it goes. There we go. Doesn't ground it.
Yeah, it's a knock on Featherstone, so that'll be a tap restart on the 20 for Hull FC.
Wait there, Danny. This will be 0.
That's the first shot in anger for Featherstone. All they've got to do now is sort that ruck control out, restrict the meters that Hull FC are making, give themselves a chance in this game.
Luke Briscoe, of course, on the trail of this world record equaling try. 16 games in a row so far for him, if you include the end of last season. Here is Tuimavave. Not close enough. Luke Briscoe on that occasion. Houghton. Minichiello spins, gets the pass away to Tuimavave.
3.
Hock. Conor Farrell in there, Scott Wheeldon. Houghton, darting run from him. And here's Jake Connor. Connor, Griffin.
That's well read on that occasion. Talapapa trapped the movement
Connor, another wicked hoisted kick. They've been causing problems.
Well taken from Briscoe. Had to leap up high to get that. No pressure, incidentally, on Jake Connor. Jake Connor, if he's allowed to kick this ball and put it where he wants, will make it a difficult evening for Featherstone. But what a take from Luke Briscoe.
So Featherstone Rovers, have they weathered the storm? Already they're adrift by 18 points to 0.
Significantly though, haven't they? They've successfully repelled Hull FC in the last 2 occasions they've been down, and that will give them some confidence.
Here is Gareth Hock.
And that's the sort of penetration they've been missing.
Hock, 34 years of age now, Challenge Cup finalist in 2004. That's a great kick.
That'll do. That'll do from Featherstone.
Nikolauskas, 40-20. That's what Featherstone Rovers needed. That's raised the crowd.
Keel, wait for me.
Brilliant timely kick by Ridyard, wasn't it? Up the hill.
Go.
So Scott Wheeldon takes the first tilt at the Hull line.
Hold.
Wants a black and white himself, Scott Wheeldon. Keele Carlisle, one of the many players who've played Super League. The ball's batted down, and the referee brings Dean Hadley back. He comes back, but without the ball.
Had to come in, Hull FC, then they had to shut that play down. Coming back on Featherstone's right, up quick and try and spoil it. Tumavavi sticks an arm out, and they were in a little bit of trouble then, Hull FC. Players on the outside, Thackeray being one of them. Smart rugby brain, Anthony Thackeray, but to the rescue, Carlos Tumavavi.
Somebody will be sitting watching this game saying that's a deliberate knock-on.
It's, I think if you give him the benefit of that, it's smart play. You see Ryan Hall do it week in, week out. Make yourself big and get yourself in between you and the intended recipient of the ball.
Here's Connor Farrell now for Featherstone Rovers, third in the Betfred Championship at the moment, coming into this game off the back of defeat. Here's Hock trying to drive his way over the line. He does, but he's held up. Beaten in Toulouse last weekend, Featherstone Rovers, having gone 5 in a row in terms of victories. 10 minutes out as Hock plays the ball. Here's Ridyard. Thackeray bounces away from the first challenge and gets over the line, and Featherstone Rovers hit back. And Anthony Thackeray, who's had a torrid evening at the other end of the field, underneath the high ball from Hull FC, finds a way through their defence to get his first Challenge Cup try of the season.
Well, joy on the terraces and a little bit of confidence given to the Rovers. What a wonderful kick there. Perfectly timed, perfectly executed from Martin Ridyard. And Featherstone Rovers at last have had a bit of a go at the line. Carlos Tumavavi, he comes in and shuts that play down. They go back to the opposite side. Ridyard involved again. And for once, it's Hull FC not able to get hold and ground the Featherstone attacker. Anthony Thackeray keeps his legs pumping, sees the try line and gets it over.
Very early defensive read there by Josh Griffin. Not sure he needed to come as hard and as fast as he did.
You can't be critical of Featherstone Rovers' contact without referencing that by Josh Griffin. He's made a read, he knew what he wanted to do, but he fell off the tackle pretty easily. But Thackeray good enough to ride it. And Ridyard in a really good spot now, Bill, to tag 2 on.
Martin Ridyard with 52 goals to his name this season, but misses with that one. Featherstone Rovers 4, Hull FC 18, the scoreline now.
Yeah, it's a nice little show. Ridyard's come from the open side to the short side. Nice beat of trickery by Carlisle at hooker, and then some great footwork from Thackeray. He beats that attempted kill defence from Griffin and Talanoa.
When you're ready. Go.
Jake Connor hoists that restart. More Challenge Cup action coming up from round 6 tomorrow, and an intriguing game at Lee Sports Village with Lee Centurions against the Salford Red Devils. Lee on a bit of a roll, will fancy their chances in that one. It's on Sky Sports Arena from 7:30 tomorrow. Here's John Davis. High from Dean Hadley. The accusing groans from the Featherstone Rovers supporters. Hock offloads in the tackle. They're keeping it alive. Featherstone Rovers, bit of spring in their step now. Talapapa, though, runs into a tackle from Faraimo, loses the ball. It was a good tackle from Faraimo as well. Talapapa claiming that was stolen, but I think Faraimo really collared him.
Well, Missy Talapapa, when he runs hard, doesn't mind the contact. There is an arm there or thereabouts, but it's up to Talapapa to keep control of that ball. It's a good read. The winger comes in and shuts the play down. Hull FC defend up and in. They try and close the plays down and try and force those plays back towards the middle.
Cunning.
I still think it's the responsibility of
They got the ball back.
Is that
And he's the
bite a bit?
He's the hero turned villain in terms of gamesmanship there. Faraimo has come up with the error, and hasn't Gareth Hock at last given that Hull FC defence something to think about?
He'll give any defence something to think about. It's going to be in short bursts these days, but he's given the boost to the Rovers that they needed.
Elbows, knees and tattoos.
Here's James Lockwood at 30 metres out as Hock passes the ball on. It's Thackeray now, and it's Hull's turn to defend. The ball's lost, and Jamie Shaw has the legs. Can he outpace the cover? Holmes is chasing him down. Holmes won't catch him, and Shaw makes the most of that opportunity. He hasn't put the ball down yet. He has now. And Scott Miklauskas checks with his officials. The try is awarded, and just when it looked as though Featherstone Rovers were maybe getting a little bit of traction, the wheels have come off. And Jamie Shaw, 6th try of the season, first in the Challenge Cup this season for the fullback.
It's a big swing as well, isn't it, in momentum. Featherstone, they've got some good shape, they look good. Guys in the right positions. Hock takes it in, nice hands. Holmes at the line, but then it's put down the short ball from Hardcastle. Everything was good apart from the execution. And then once it gets into this boy's hands, well, he's gone and he's away. Holmes does as best he can to try and stop Shaw from improving the angle. But some smart play from Jamie Shaw to give Jake Connor an even better opportunity at adding extra 2.
80th try for Hull FC for Jamie Shaw with that touchdown. And Jake Connor, 3 from 3 for him so far. And this one, Jamie Shaw tried his best to make this one straightforward. He's on target again.
They don't mind leaving an attacker over, so they were stripped for numbers. That's a nice play. Come in, winger comes down, cuts the ball, cuts the player in half, dislodges the ball, and that's a fast player with a clear track. But it's the defensive decisions of Hull FC. They're in, they're shutting it down, and as I said, they don't mind leaving a player extra. Featherstone had Luke Briscoe outside, and Talanoa wasn't bothered. He knew he was good enough to make that tackle.
So Hull with Masimatongo on from the bench. Josh Bowden injured early on in this game for Hull FC, who now lead by 24 points to 4. And here is Mark Minichiello. Falls over the body of Gareth Hock, who's still on the ground, and they're taking their time there.
But the previous tackle, there was a Featherstone defender on the floor. During that exchange there's too many Featherstone players who are clinging on to those Hull FC players. It looks too messy. Keil Carlisle.
They're claiming that Mark Minichiello had locked his arm in the tackle. Keil Carlisle couldn't get out of it. The onus is going to be on you as a defender. You're right, Barry.
Never leave it in the hands of the referees, because you're down to their interpretation.
This is exactly what Lee Radford said he wanted from his side. He wanted to play what he said was a Super League pace, not a championship pace. He didn't feel Featherstone would be able to live with his side were they to make sure there was a quick ruck throughout the game. And you can see the results of that. Featherstone trying illegally to slow the ruck down.
Goal 3. Gareth has gone over. 3.
Here is Tuimavave.
4. Move. Hold.
He is
Goal 4.
brought down, and Minichiello to Joe Westerman.
Okay.
Westerman re-signed by Hull, so he made his second debut last weekend as a substitute against Castleford Tigers. Griffin. Tuimavave skips away from Holmes, gets the ball to Minichiello.
What about the handoff from Jake Connor over on this right side, this near side? That's where that play all started from.
Connor it is with the kick. This one not such a good kick, doesn't really go forward. Fairimo back to Washbrook. It's back with Connor. Connor kicks straight down the middle. Nobody seems particularly interested in it. In the end, it's Luke Briscoe who picks it up.
We make a criticism of Jake Connor because of this. He's asked to play in the halves today by Lee Radford. He's asked to dictate the direction for his side and the pace that his side play at. When it comes to fourth and fifth tackle, Jake Connor needs to be thinking about the kick. He's got one away that wasn't great, and it looked like it was a last-minute decision by Jake where he wanted to kick and what sort of a kick. He's got to do that earlier.
From that kick, it's Hull FC who are entangled in the play of the ball. Penalty given. Meters made for Featherstone. They'll gleefully accept.
John Duffy, meanwhile, making a triple change. He's sent on Wildy, Cooper and Brooks from the bench. Wheeldon, Lockwood and Keele Carlisle, I think, are the players who've come off for Featherstone. So Luke Cooper gets his first touch of the ball, having come off the bench. John Duffy hoping that they can energise the side.
Another
Tom Holmes. And Holmes felt that.
He's already got a fair bit of strapping on that left knee, and as Matongo reached out, it looked like the smaller man had beaten the bigger man for pace, but all the weight going through that knee. It looks like maybe a dead leg strapping, but it's the thigh area that looks vulnerable.
Tackle 3.
Gladly he's up and he's smiling. We don't need to lose any more in this game.
And play continues with Featherstone Rovers in possession. Hock runs into the challenge of Washbrook. Ridyard's pass finds Connor Farrell.
5.
That's the fifth tackle, the 10 metres out. Matty Wildy now. Hock, they're running it. And they've got the numbers here. But it's good defence. Good defence from Hull FC there.
That's exceptional defence. Again, moving towards the ball. Nice play from Featherstone. Whenever they get near their opponent's line, string some passes together. They look a little bit dangerous, but comfortable, confident Hull FC. That line isn't breached.
Josh Hardcastle was the man stopped close to that Hull try line.
2. Move some.
Yeah, nice reactive defence. Dean Hadley wrapping the ball up as well. So the result of good communication is that you don't see it on the TV pictures, but you know, there's no doubt about it. There'll be some good communication, some early communication as well, and picked off the right man and neutralised the threat.
Westerman, victim of a high shot there. Making his first Challenge Cup appearance since playing for Warrington in the competition last June, Joe Westerman, and Connor thumps that one into touch.
Late footwork from Westerman, and it undoes some of the good work that Gareth Hock has brought to this game.
1.
The Washbrook upended. About 30 metres away from the Featherstone line. Here is Griffin now. Ridyard gets a hold of him this time before he can do any more damage. Jordan Lane making his Challenge Cup debut for Hull FC as he comes into the action. Connor once more. Connor's pass for Griffin. Griffin just bulldozes his way through that Featherstone Rovers defence, and they had no answer to his ferocity there. And Josh Griffin, no frills about that finishing from Lee Radford's centre.
Yep, Josh Griffin, his first Challenge Cup try, and the try scorer and the assist has reversed on 32 minutes as it was from the first try of the game. This is the high shot, that's the footwork that ends up with the arm going high, and from that position Hull FC set up in the middle, to the right-hand stick. It's a lovely piece of deception. If we get another look at Jake Connor's eyes, you have a look at where he's looking out the back, and that's a really well executed deceptive play. The defence have got a big decision to make.
But it doesn't fool them though, does it? It doesn't fool the defence. Ridyard makes the right call.
There's a body still.
No, it takes a body off.
It does take a body off.
It puts you one-on-one.
You're going to be very, very well to get many numbers in there. I know your point, but I mean, Ridyard's read that.
Jake Connor, the conversion attempts so far have been in front of the post. This one wide out, he's still on target. And Connor just makes it even more difficult for Featherstone Rovers now. 30 points to 4, Hull lead.
It's the acceleration of Jake Connor that forces the hand of those defenders. Griffin is going to beat a lot of players one-on-one, probably most players in a Featherstone shirt this evening. Ridyard will want to do better. He thinks he's done enough. He's got around the ball, he's trying to clamp that ball, but again, he's too big and strong, Griffin.
If that play is executed well, and it's the very, very best hards that do it, that'll look behind the line. It's Missy Talapapa that fell for it. He was the one who was straightened up and didn't go in on that tackle on Griffin as he probably was planning on doing. Leaves you one-on-one, big man on small man. Josh Griffin goes over 30 points to 4. Looking decidedly now one-sided now, isn't it, Bill?
It is. There was just that hint that Featherstone Rovers were settling into the game. Josh Griffin, though, has unsettled them the day after his 28th birthday, so a belated celebration for Josh Griffin with that try, and there might be 1 or 2 more presents to be unwrapped here before the night is out.
People at Featherstone will tell you a lot of games played at this stadium are a classic game of two halves. Playing down that hill is a distinct advantage, as Jordan Lane unfortunately drops the ball, catches a knee, doesn't have hold of the ball, not a sufficient grip, and it looks like Sam Brooks' knee just catches that ball as he's trying to place it on the floor.
Down we go.
You don't think, I mean, you think that this could turn around?
No, I don't, but I'm trying to give us all hope, Bill. I'm trying to give us all hope. But running down that hill
down we go.
has been a significant advantage to Featherstone for a lot of years. And if any team knows how to play that slope, then it's this team on the ball at the minute.
They are on the ball with their one try scorer so far tonight, Anthony Thackeray. But other than that, they haven't really troubled it. Came close with Josh Hardcastle. Now here they come with Luke Cooper. Former Batley forward Cooper just in front of those Hull FC posts. The ball is fired to Sam Brooks, the Scottish international, and Brooks over the line.
Held up, tackle 4.
But he's driven back and then loses the ball. The referee says,
tackle 4.
Have it back.
Go back. To try again, son. Have another go. To Brooks on the 10-metre line. Here is Holmes. Thackeray, and he's in again. Briscoe gets the try he wanted to equal that record. But hang on, there's more drama.
Oh,
We've got a try.
Well, the referee reckons it's a try, but we'll need Phil Bentham's official sanction.
Luke Briscoe was smiling as he got that ball. He thought he had enough time to just enjoy that split second. Look at him here. He's got a good grip on the ball. He angles his body out, and there you go. There's history in the making.
That's an outstanding finish.
A simple task for Phil Bentham, the video ref. Scott Mikolauskas awards the try, and Luke Briscoe has equalled that record set by Eric Harris in the 1935-36 season. 17 games in a row now for Luke Briscoe.
Well, unfortunate for Hull FC and Jordan Lane. Possession given away. A nice Tom Holmes draw and pass. It's Anthony Thackeray who provides the opportunity to Luke Briscoe. Still had a bit to do. And that up and in defence of Hull FC is not functioning there. They're backing away. They're waiting for what's happened, and Luke Briscoe, he gets that historic try.
Luke Briscoe has never scored more than 10 tries in a season. as the conversion goes over from Ridyard. Briscoe has now got 27 this season, including 3 hat-tricks, and he equals that record set by Eric Harris. Tries in 17 consecutive games. He's equalled the Toowoomba Ghosts try-scoring record. I wonder if Luke Briscoe will get a catchy nickname like Toowoomba Ghost. Eric Harris was.
Well, he will never forget this day, that's for sure. Tell you what, some nice play from Featherstone, the ball players. Tom Holmes with a nice pass out the back, and Anthony Thackeray, when he got the ball, he accelerated towards Fatuli Talanoa, forced the whole winger to come in and make a decision, and he was able to tip the ball on nicely to the world try-scoring record equaler tonight, Luke Briscoe.
Maybe the Featherstone flyer. But immediately they've squandered possession. The ball is hacked forward. Minicello trying to get a hold of it. It's bouncing around. Shaw has it. The referee says play on, and Hull regained possession. There's a Hull player on his knees just out of your picture. I think it's Tuimavave.
Yeah, he's holding an ankle as well as Tuimavave. He's not moving much. There's a right mess in the build-up to this, and I don't think Jamie Shaw wanted to carry on with play because he's got a teammate who's down behind the Featherstone defensive line.
Yeah, the referee's going to have to stop it now because he's right in the thick of things. Carlos Tuimavave. Oh, they've already lost Josh Bowden, and Tuimavave's in pain there.
Another pivot as well, Bill. They'll be looking forward. They're going to win this game. They were looking forward to the season. We got Tuimavave on the ground. They got no Albert Kelly. Lee Raptors thinking no Mark Sneed. We don't know for how long. Jordan Abdul. It's a bad injury he received.
Mike Sneed's looked a bad one last week as well. So these are not short-term injuries.
Key players.
We've got Jez Litton on the bench, and we know about Danny Washbrook's versatility. He could probably be a makeshift half-back. Let's have a look. Oh, there. It just rolls, doesn't it? All the force goes through that ankle. It buckles. It doesn't look as severe a clunk as
he's gone over the top of this,
Josh
hasn't he?
Bowden.
Ooh, yeah, that's still painful though, and you open up an awful lot of ligaments there. And I'd wager he's going to struggle to carry on at that point. He's not moved much at all. They're really, really painful.
Busy night for the FC medical departments.
Can happen in games, can't it? Can happen in games. I mean, Witness get an awful lot of stick for their pitch, picking up injuries. We're on a grass pitch. You just see it. Sometimes it just happens. Tuimavave looks like. I mean, Angelo gives a report, no doubt, but you would guess he's not going to play anymore.
She could be very busy, Angela, couldn't she, down at the pitch side trying to find out about all these injuries, and it's likely that Hull FC are going to progress and to be able to defend their crown in the next round of the Challenge Cup, but at what cost?
Jez Litton then comes on, making his cup debut as well. Has missed the last 3 games. He made a few appearances earlier in the season. So Hull controlling the game, but at some cost so far. We haven't even reached half-time. They've got 2 players sidelined.
No, another half of rugby league to go, but let's not forget what's round the corner. Magic weekend and that whole derby.
Oh dear, Jake Connor put Josh Griffin under all sorts of pressure there.
Well, that ball is in the air a long time, and Griffin is waiting for it, and I bet he's got his hands out. He's expecting something. He's wincing.
Great.
Eyes squinting.
Great.
It's important to note that it's an offside penalty being given here, because is it Jamie Shaw who picks it up in front of the lost ball from Josh Griffin? So that's how we're going to restart, with a kick for the sideline from Ridyard. What a great read in defence, though.
I say, Bill, it's Hull's game now. I mean, no more tries in this half. Featherstone playing downhill. Hull 2 less interchanges. Featherstone would score first in the second half. We might have a nervy period for the visitors.
Well, into the final minute of the first half. 30 points to 10. Hull ahead. Can Featherstone finish this first half?
And they look dangerous. They look really dangerous at that end of the field as well, don't they?
Ridyard shows the ball, then on to Thackeray. Thackeray to Connor Farrell. Farrell drives the ball into the chest of Jake Connor, who makes the tackle. 3 tackles gone. With Hock, who straightens it up. Massimo Tongo gets a hold of him. Washbrook down low. Tongo reels back, having got a bang on the head. Play continues. Cooper is brought down. Good defence happening there as ever to make the tackle. Little grubber kick comes in, but it sits up nicely. And it's Dean Hadley, this makeshift centre. And even before they'd got injuries, they were having to employ players in unaccustomed positions. Hadley at centre for the first time, as Litton is dumped to the ground. And the half-time hooter has sounded. A bit of disagreement there. Gareth Hock willing to respond. Jake Connor like-minded. And the referee ushers the players from the fields. Bit of chuntering still going on.
Up we go.
They've got a break, then they can start all over again. He's lost none of the fire as Gareth Hock. Lee Radford, well, mixed emotions for him because his side are leading 30 points to 10, but at some cost.
Absolutely, Bill. Injuries to Josh Bowden and Carlos Tumavave, but 20 points in at half-time. The holders in a relatively comfortable position. We got a break coming up, and then we'll discuss a half. It's saw 2 tries for Jake Connor, Sigamanu and Jamie Scholl, with Josh Griffin adding another for Hull FC. Anthony Thackeray and a world record equaling try from Luke Briscoe on the way in half-time analysis.
What if you could book your flight, hotel, activities and car rental all in one place? Expedia are the travel experts who give you the world in your hands, so you can see more of it. Expedia, atoll protected.
Hello, mate.
Yeah, go on, get back in your box.
How long have you...
We've been down here for 7 years testing new weed killer formulas. We wanted a spray that started working upon contact, killing the roots of even tough weeds and making sure they don't come back. That's still in production. Leading to this, a next-generation weed killer, Resolver Pro. Safety cap.
Resolver Pro, next generation weed killer.
Morning. Morning. You all right? I've got yours right here. That's it. There you go, love.
Lovely, thanks very much.
Good luck, see you later.
Excuse me.
Sorry, love. I'm all out.
We need nearly 700 new donors every day just to keep the country going. Bleed for the things that matter to us all.
Cif Power and Shine Bathroom cleans and helps prevent watermarks and limescale from returning.
Cif Power and Shine, always a beautiful ending.
Get your new iPhone 10 on Sky Mobile and shoot studio quality portraits with amazing detail on the all-screen Super Retina HD display. Perfect for watching all your favourite Sky shows. On the only network that rolls over all your unused data for you to keep for up to 3 years. Get your iPhone 10 with Sky Mobile for £42 a month with no upfront costs. Call today or search Sky Mobile.
Every detail live in Ultra HD with Sky Q.
The Sky Store flash sale is back.
Awesome!
Buckle up.
Grab a deal on digital DVD or Blu-ray.
Keep talking.
All yours from $3.99.
I would much prefer that to the alternative.
Ninja, hit it!
May the force be with us.
Kind of got a bit of a save the world situation here.
All these great movies and more in the Sky Store flash sale.
Saints. Vintage Castleford. Incredible. Super try from Salford that. What a try from Miller. Tongo! Oh, how about that?
Witness St Helens, Wigan, Warrington, and we finished day one with Castleford against the champions Leeds, a repeat of the 2017 Grand Final. Sunday, we got NRL action to start the day. St George Illawarra against Canberra, 5 a.m. Sky Sports Arena, and a 7 a.m. start for Cronulla Canterbury, and then 3 games to round off Magic again from St James's Park. Salford Cattle.
Shaw streaks 90 metres unopposed, and then has the cheek to improve the angle by a good 10 metres to enable Jake Connor to keep his perfect conversion record. Then Westerman draws a penalty with footwork from Gareth Hock. Before we looked again at that combination, lovely soft hands from Jake Connor to the barnstorming Griffin. That was on 33 minutes. Some hope, though, for the Featherstone Rovers. First from Holmes, then from Thackeray. Great balls taken on the line. And what about that for a finish from Luke Briscoe? 10 points to 30.
Yeah, Briscoe's 27th try of the season, his 17th consecutive game in which he scored at least 1 try, equaling the world record. Barry, sell me a Featherstone Rovers comeback in this second 40 minutes.
If Featherstone are smart, they will slow the game down. The pace of this game, when it's controlled by Hull FC, leaves them clambering, unable to deal with the size and power. But if they control those restarts, kick the ball out, slow the game down and try to just eke their way back into this game.
John Wells, that won't happen because Hull FC will do what in the second half?
Well, realise they don't have to go and win the game again. There's 20 points that is the cushion. They know they're down on numbers. They'll play a simple game. I would imagine they'll get behind a long Jake Connor kick and keep them as far away from their own sticks as possible.
OK, we'll see how it unfolds, gentlemen. We've got the second 40 minutes coming up after a short break. At half-time, the holders, Hull FC, 20-point advantage over the hosts, Featherstone Rovers, 30 points to 10. We've got the second half from this Ladbrokes Challenge Cup 6th round match on the way.
Morning. Morning. You all right? I've got yours right here. That's it. There you go, love.
Lovely, thanks very much.
Good luck, see you later.
Excuse me.
Sorry, love. I'm all out.
We need nearly 700 new donors every day just to keep the country going. Bleed for the things that matter to us all.
Sif Power and Shine bathroom cleans and helps prevent watermarks and limescale from returning.
Sif Power and Shine, always a beautiful ending.
Get ready for carnage!
Sounds like this one.
Whoops. After you, man.
Thanks.
And makes you feel like this one.
Ready to do this? 1, 2, 3!
Then it's got to be this one.
I could get used to this.
All the good stuff on Sky One.
Henry Weston was always trying new ways to get the most from the year's harvest, because he knew the secret to his exceptional vintage cider. The finest Herefordshire apples from a single year, aged in oak vats very slowly for a magnificent taste to savour. Henry Weston's Vintage. Cider with character.
3, 2, 1!
The Concerto of Carnage continues Sundays at 8 on Sky One. And if you missed the carnage, the beginning of the series is raring to go now on Catch Up TV.
Get ready for carnage!
5 murders.
Are you crazy?
I have a name, a face.
We can't control what we can't see.
We gotta find out how she does it. Anonymity is the enemy. You're going undercover.
She makes her living covering up secrets.
Don't try to find me. Look, and you are dead.
Welcome back to Post Office Road, Featherstone. Welcome back to the 6th round of the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup. The holders, Hull FC, with a healthy half-time lead. Featherstone Rovers the opposition. These sides met in the 1983 Cup final. One of the greatest upsets of all time as Featherstone emerged victorious. They will have it all to do to make a match of this in the second half. They do have the slope, and they do go up against a Hull FC side who won't have the services of Josh Bowden and most probably won't have the services of Carlos Tumavave in the second half. Your commentary team now, led as ever by Bill Arthur.
Well, it's a tall order for Featherstone Rovers to turn things around, but they were underdogs 35 years ago at Wembley, and they caused a shock there against Hull FC. Had to be a heck of a shock.
I wonder whether David
that.
Hobbs has brought his boots, Bill. Brilliant to see him and Alan Agar and the rest of the players.
Lee Radford smiling, hoping that the news about Josh Bowden and Carlos Tumavave isn't too bad. He's got enough injury problems to contend with already as the second half is underway. Featherstone Rovers getting us going again. Hull FC get the first touch with Faraimo. And Hull hoping to continue where they left off in that first half, but they are playing up the slope. So let's see if it does make the difference that has been suggested.
It's not the slope. I'm pains to point this out. It's not the slope that it used to be. This field, this ground has been subject to much development, levelling or partial levelling and extending of the field, alongside the construction of the new stand at the end of this ground. Hull FC making light work of the inclination in the first set, and they've
there's another player down, John Davis, I think.
In play, yeah.
He stayed down after being involved in a tackle, and if a player stays down, the physio and the doctor get a bit twitchy and they think, well, let's take him off and have a look at him.
That's exactly what should have done as well. He tried his best to get rid of the physio, and he just caught a stray elbow from Minicello. It's not necessarily how hard you get them, it's where you get them.
So Connor hoists another thick Thackeray, third time of asking, holds on to that one. Well, we saw Josh Bowden come off, we saw Carlos Tumavave come off. We can find about that and the other news from Angela Powers.
Well, I'll start with the home team first, Bill, and John Duffy was talking about how it's all about belief now, the cut belief, the belief that you can actually pull something out of the bag when things are all against you. They know they can do better, especially in attack when they're within sight of the line, but their defence has let them down so much, and you've been talking about that slope, now they've got to use it, and they're heading on the way down there now. Well, I spoke to Lee Radford and he just shook his head. The scoreline's fine, but the injury crisis continues. Josh Bowden is not coming back on. They think it's ligament rather than a dislocation, but it could be long-term. And it's knee with Tumavave as well. Not looking good for him. He says he might be pulling on his boots sooner rather than later by the looks of it. That's Lee Radford.
Thanks, Angela. So not a good night as far as injuries go for Hull FC, as Faraimo is underneath that kick, takes it well, under pressure, and avoids the chasing Featherstone Rovers players.
He did incredibly well. Big, strong, athletic, hard running outside back, and another one, Talanoa. Jamie Shaw will follow, and they'll make those meters.
I'll tell you, there's no chance of Lee Radford ever making a comeback. He's not the hard man he once was. I overheard him and another former hard man discussing how their new false teeth are affecting their smiles. Anything to add to that conversation, Barry McDermott?
Not affecting, improving.
Improving, yes, that's the conversation I bumped into.
We have the same dentist over in York.
Two of the game's tough guys. Actually, no, he still is a tough guy. Just put that on the record.
Here's Messi Matongo. And Jake Connor drills this one downfield. There's bags of open space there. And Sean Robinson returns it. He's closed down by Faraimo. Good chase from him. Well, Sneed out. Not known how long for. Albert Kelly missing this one. Carlos Tumavave injured. That ball's stolen. It's a penalty. Carlos Tumavave limping down the sidelines at the moment.
I don't think Tumavarvi's going back on, and if the backroom staff of Hull FC are talking about Josh Bowden being a ligament, I'm worried it's one of those crucial posterior, anterior crucial ligament injuries. Fingers crossed, I hope it's not. That's a lengthy 6 to 9 month wait.
In terms of the halfbacks, do they go out recruiting?
One. Move down there! Hold.
We'll see. Here comes Featherstone Rovers on the attack, 40 metres out. Hardcastle is brought down. Ridyard drifting across the field, gets the pass away to Thackeray. Here's Connor Farrell now. Farrell stopped by Washbrook and Jake Connor. Matty Wildey is in there. Now it's with Sam Brooks, and Brooks legs driving the former Wigan Academy man. 10 metres out now for Featherstone Rovers, looking to get the first points on the board in this second half. Ended a bit fractiously at the end of the first. Across the field they come with Holmes. Holmes, long ball out wide. Second try is in for Briscoe. He reckons it is. And the referee does too. What a performance this is.
And what a finish as well. We thought the first finish was good. This try has been awarded, and it's been awarded because of the acrobatics from that man, Luke Briscoe. John Duffy rather, straight on the blower, dishing out instructions. But while he's doing that, let's take a look back at how Featherstone got down in that area of the field. Talapapa adjudged to have had the ball stripped from him. And then a great piece of work out the back. Tom Holmes' involvement here, just straightening up and committing the defence before lifting the pass over, in, away, and what a beautiful finish from Luke Briscoe. This is Featherstone Rovers, I think, back in the game, Barry.
Wellesley, you're going to pay tribute to the acrobatic finish. I'm going to talk about the subtle little addition Gareth Hock brings to that play. He pumps that ball, he has a support player at the side of him, he pumps that ball. The Hull FC defenders will just pause a little bit, and it buys enough time for the winger to get in the corner. He's not just Biff and Badge, Gareth Hock, been around a long time, has many strings to his bow. He can run over the top of you, but it's his pass and his craft at the beginning of that play.
Great pass from Tom Holmes as well to put Briscoe in for that try. His 28th of the season, and Ridyard has his kicking boots on in this second half to add the conversion. Featherstone Rovers 16, Hull FC 30.
Yeah, it's Gareth Hock, there's the little subtle pass, but I like this movement from Holmes. Straightens up, puts the defence, particularly Hadley, on 2 flat feet, and then a lovely weighted ball, and said to Luke Briscoe, you do the rest, son. And he's got very, very accustomed to doing that in 2018.
There's life in this crowd now. They've life been injected back in with Luke Briscoe's second try.
Luke Briscoe, once a Hull FC player, didn't make the grade there, but he's coming back to haunt them tonight. 2 tries in this contest. Josh Bowden there on crutches. That knee brace on as well. Sad sight to see.
Yeah, a real shame for him. Young player that's gradually getting better and growing into that big body of his. He's going to have to take a break for a while now, but Featherstone on the front foot, and Hull FC, we remarked on it in the first half, they don't mind leaving a player over. There's an extra attacker, and on that occasion, and the first try that Briscoe scored, he had space and he had the skill to capitalise. Another good carry from the Rovers.
Luke Cooper it was, wrestling his way into Hull FC territory.
5.
He talks about belief, John Duffy. They must have more belief. Certainly got him over the try line. Difficult one to deal with for Shaw.
Oh, dear me. Towler-Papa arrived about 2 weeks too early.
Did he get the ball?
He did. The ball hadn't even come down.
I don't know what's happened there.
Well,
he's absolutely cleaned Jamie Shaw out.
Well, we'll have to see what the referee's interpretation is. It's right in front of him. He's got a good view.
Well, we know where this is going, don't we? We know where this is going.
Is it red or yellow?
Is it a card? Is it a yellow? Is it
it's
a red?
A card for sure.
Gotta be.
It's a card for sure. I mean, I don't know that he hits him high, but he's absolutely cleaned him out. That's just dumb. That's just a dumb play. The simple basics have let them down today. That's, yeah. Well, still, doesn't get any better, does it?
It's not as though Missy Talapapa is a raw rookie. He's been around for a while. He's 36 years of age.
He's an aggressive player, Talapapa.
It's not a headshot, is it? That might be the one thing that saves Talapapa. But it's a whiplash injury. Jamie Shaw, rightly, as all good fullbacks should, complete focus on the ball.
Ball, then contact. That's what he's thinking.
Yes, of course.
Ball, then brace for contact. You don't brace for contact, then cast.
His brain's scrambled because the message has been received in the wrong order there.
Well, the officials still conferring. Video ref Phil Bentham presumably having his input.
The only thing that will save him is if the contact is not with the head.
No, I can't see a red.
No, there's a card coming.
I'd say a yellow here.
Okay,
he's gone for his pocket.
Danny Houghton.
Two captains.
It's a mistimed tackle. It's a penalty.
His eyes are on it.
That's it.
A mistimed tackle?
You're not kidding. Wow.
That's. I've said many times, I don't think they use the sin bin enough. We've got the sin bin, it's a facility for referees. If that's not a sin binning, get rid of it as an option. That is... Look, the referees have got to get a hold of this, and the people in charge. That's a sin binning all day.
It's not often I agree with that kind of... It's not. That kind of comment, I normally think, keep the players on the field, but on that occasion, he's absolutely...
It's more than a penalty, that.
Cleaned his clocks, hasn't it?
Yeah.
By not taking action as well, you're in danger of lighting the touch paper in a game that has the potential to boil over. We saw a mini skirmish at half-time, and Hull FC will not be happy with that. I think, thankfully, we missed the point that Jamie Shaw's all right, which is the most important thing to come out of that.
Mistimed.
It's the definition of the word mistimed, that, isn't it?
Got there fractionally early, but he wasn't fractionally. Jake Connor surrounded by Featherstone players, hopping he is towards that Featherstone try line. Westerman, little backhanded pass to Washbrook, but Featherstone Rovers players are there in numbers to wrap him up. Connor dinks another kick up, wicked one, and this time Thackeray is equal to that one. Taps it on the 20, and then is upended by Danny Houghton.
When you asked me at half-time, Brian, how did I think Featherstone would get back into this game? I thought it was to slow the game down, kick the ball out. Well, Luke Briscoe.
It did bobble out.
It left his grasp, didn't it?
Well, the only reason it'd be a knock-on is if it touches a whole player in the process of him regathering it. So, contact, and there's a pull from Faraimo as well here. But that looks like a clean regather to me.
Anyway, to make my point, if Featherstone can get the ball, get 6 tackles first of all, kick the ball over the sideline, control those restarts, we've got half a chance. But when Hull FC are dictating the pace of the game as they are at the minute, I'm not sure Featherstone can keep up with them.
Talanoa is the latest player to be down on his haunches.
Well, the red and white of Hull will be rubbing their hands at the minute. Significant, important players taking knocks and bumps and bruises, and sometimes a lot worse. He lands...
Oh, that's another ankle. That's more ankle ligament damage. It's the right foot. Have a look at the right foot here. Next step. There you go. He's gone over the top of that as well. What a penny for his thoughts.
What's he got to be thinking now? You're right, Barry. He's got a huge magic.
Where was that black cat?
Feeling his knee.
Oh wow!
That's what he's thinking.
He's thinking to himself, I can't believe this.
You get new teeth and all this happens.
I should say thank you, Gary, by the way, but if...
Right, so there's an ankle and the knee. Look, so the ankle's obviously the minor problem, then there's a knee issue here.
There's a temptation for a Super League coach to look at a team in the division below and think, who can I rest, who can I rotate, who can I do without this week? I suspect he's gone through all those questions during the week, Lee Radford, and all the players that are on the pitch he thinks they're fit, raring to go.
You know what they're like as well, Barry. It's going to take an awful lot to get these guys off the field. I mean, we saw it with Josh Bowden. They want to walk off.
Talanoa.
If he was at half a chance of staying on, Billy would. It's another man gone. This is going to play into Featherstone's hands.
Well, there's now one live substitute, isn't there?
Yeah.
Scott Taylor, Mickey Payer down at the front in the stand there. Mark Sneed, Albert Kelly back home.
That alone won't win a game for Featherstone. It won't score them another try. They got to cut out the errors to got to have a chance in this, Bill.
So Hull FC in possession.
Hold.
They still lead 30 points to 16.
Good tackle. Briscoe in right into the ribs. Felt that, Dean Hadley.
Now here is Joe Westerman.
4.
Just 5 appearances he made for Toronto. The ball looped out wide, and Faraimo cuts infield, gets the ball down, slithers over the try line, and Hull have the answer despite all the questions being asked with the injuries to members of their side.
Look at the body language of Hull FC. They get that ball down, they score a try, there's no celebrations. There's just less than half an hour left in this game. Another wonderful pass to the outside man from Jake Connor, and he had some good contributions this evening. Puts it into the space, a left to right pass, one of the most difficult passes to master, and the wing has enough about him to get the ball down.
So Beretta Faraimo gets his 3rd try in successive games, having got 2, as you saw, from the Castleford Tigers in the Tigers win last week. The USA international. And then Jake Connor, can he maintain his fantastic goal-kicking performance this evening from out wide? First miss of the night from Jake Connor. A wry smile on his face, but Hull staying far enough ahead. Featherstone Rovers 16, Hull FC 34, the scoreline. Faraimo, the latest try scorer. Super League Golden Point is available as a podcast from tomorrow, and just find that on iTunes for learned discourse from Mercers Carney, McDermott and Wells.
That might be stretching the definition a little bit.
It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
That's all that matters. Yeah. Memories, like Challenge Cup memories of these men.
You like the sound of their voice.
I do. About the only one that does. Actually, I
Move, James! Got 2.
Here's Danny Houghton.
All right.
And
3. Move, Josh!
With
10 metres.
Joe Westerman.
Well, that's a knock-on. He's wave play on. Joe Westerman, while trying to play that ball, I feel certain he's lost control of it.
Hold.
But he doesn't touch it with his foot. How many times have we seen that?
Here's Matty Batonga now.
Feeling that try from Faraimo just knocked the wind out of the sails, just knocked Featherstone off the stride. Certainly the ground is noticeably quieter.
Kick drilled downfield by Connor, returned by Thackeray.
A couple of calls that have gone against him as well. It's a Luke Briscoe knock on given. We didn't feel it was. We saw Joe Westerman. We feel knocked the ball on, the referee thought it was play on. So they've had a couple of things go against them. They have been, I suppose, by and large, though, architects of their own downfall in this game.
Architects, plumbers, scaffolders, because they're not full-time. Well, there's 2 members of this Featherstone Rovers side are technically full-time.
And probably suffering from dual reg and loan, Bill.
Well, also suffering from the fact that they travelled to Toulouse last weekend and didn't get back till Sunday afternoon.
They got to take 5 out of that team, including their half Jordan Lilly, put 5 new players in to replace those and 1 extra. So I don't know whether dual reg and the loan deals are particularly beneficial when you're trying to build cohesion in a side and get them to develop week on week.
Well, here is one of those full-time players, Martin Ridyard. And the kick downfield. Shaw, there's nobody clattering him before he gets the ball this time. Clattering him after he's got the ball.
This has been noticeably better though from the Rovers in the second half. The chase on the back of the kick. The kicks haven't been exceptional, but the chase has been making them so, and they're actually restricting the meters. When you look at that back 5 that Hull FC have got to offer, or did have until 5 or 10 minutes ago, and they're doing a good job so far.
Featherstone Rovers very much in the hunt in the championship as far as top 4 places goes, and involvement in the middle 8 as Westerman goes bursting through. Connor is one side, Shaw is on the other. Shaw trying to get away. That's great defence from Briscoe. He is trying his hardest tonight, but trying too hard there, and he is going to the sin bin.
Well, good patience from Jamie Shaw. He's the bloke that gets tackled eventually. Some good play, good fight at the play of the ball, gives the time and space. Westerman finding his fullback, as all good fullbacks should be. He takes the tackle. There's enough fight in that to force the referee to show a yellow card.
Well, he saved the try with his effort, but he might not have saved them some points. You have a feeling now that they may be imminent.
It was good work from Mark Minicello right at the beginning of that play. He left 2 defenders on the floor. Whenever Featherstone have players behind the play of the ball, not in that defensive line, they look very vulnerable.
Massimo Tongo upended. So Hull with numerical advantage here to add to the fact that they're the dominant force in this game, as Jake Connor feels the force of that tackle from Matty Wildy and Scott Wilden. Matongo, he's brought down good defence in front of the post there from Featherstone Rovers. Wildy again with the tackle. Houghton, Westerman. On to Dean Hadley, but Hadley had to stoop to pick that ball up. He's got John Davis all over him, and Tom Holmes comes in to finish him off. Here is Josh Griffin.
5.
This time there are numbers there to stop Griffin. That's the 5th tackle. Litton kicks cross field, way across field, and Ferrimo manages to flick the ball back in field, but they've lost ground as Ridyard makes the tackle on Washbrook, and that will be the turnover. Good work from Featherstone in that set, especially with only 12 men.
Really good response from the Rovers. They lost Luke Briscoe. I had a feeling that the points were coming. That may have been the initial try saver was going to lead to points and further points down the line. Well, they've proven me wrong. What a backbone they've shown there in that defensive set of 6.
Wildy. Well, Featherstone Rovers defiant, coming up towards the hour mark. They trail by 16 points to 34. And Hull FC suffering yet another injury problem. Fatuli Talanoa, the man we saw going off. Let's get news of him from Angela.
At the half-time, Lee Radford pondered whether the Hull FC side is jinxed, but it is today because Talanoa won't be going back on either. It is an ankle injury. He's strapped up now with ice on it, but he won't be going back on the pitch tonight. As you said, they're down to 1 live substitution now.
Knock on from John Davis there.
He nearly caught it, didn't he, John Davis? Prone on the floor, reaching out, trying to regather that ball, coming back on the angle. It hits his chest, and he's just got that last grasp. Unfortunately, he can't get hold of it.
23 left. 23 left.
A shake of the head. And there's Talanoa.
23 left.
Side of Josh Bowden.
Busy night for the physios of Hull FC.
Come on, fellas, let's sort this scrum out. Make sure we're binding in, nice and tight.
Well, they play Hull hard, don't they, a week from now. And what a big game that's going to be.
Out!
Here's Josh Griffin. Griffin swaps aside Holmes. Holmes comes back. Magic weekend coming up, day 2. Next Saturday and Sunday. So there is an alternative to Windsor. It's in Newcastle. And an event at Wembley. Here's Minicello for Hull FC. Now Sikamanu, try scorer.
Move, Brad! Hold. Ball 4. Sika!
And Westerman. Ooh. Holmes shot out the line then.
Good early read as well by Tom Holmes on Jez Litton.
Ball 5.
Connor hoists the kick. It's another teasing one, but well dealt with by Sean Robinson. And they get the penalty.
Does what he can there. He's been good this evening. Josh Griffin. He ends up at the wrong side of the play of the ball. And there's enough of a mess for the referee to think no.
It's Josh Hardcastle who did the good work.
Yeah, it's a hand in there, isn't it? From
very
Josh
devious.
They're good in there. Very, very good.
Come on.
Not enough to fool the referee on this occasion. And some more pressure relief from the Featherstone Rovers. I like watching them this end of the field. They've just shown some real tenacity for the last 5 minutes in defence. They're going to get a shot now and a look. Probably towards the end of the set at this Hull FC line. They're a different proposition, aren't they, when they've got the ball in this area of the field. They are asking Hull FC some questions.
And John Duffy talked to his side about belief. Now, they look like there's a great charge there from Wealdon. But Hull FC look like that belief now is let's just blow the whistle. I've had enough of this game, and Lee Radford is thinking I've had enough of losing players. They might just be rocking a little bit here, Hull FC.
Sikamanu and Scott Wealdon exchanging pleasantries off the ball there. Here is Gareth Hock. Hock pops the ball out. Ridyard now.
5. Move down there!
That's the 5th tackle. And Thackeray kicks against the grain, and not a good one, and it's straight into the hands of Jake Connor.
Well, you could see that they'd set that up, Featherstone. Unfortunately, the execution was very poor. Thackeray is playing at fullback. He's tied up at marker now.
Rimo is penalised.
Moving off the mark.
He's pushing forward.
Was he not trying to extricate himself from the tacklers?
Yes, he was.
Time off.
You're correct.
Hang on. Let me know what you're doing.
Here we go. Fullback involved. Front rower involved. And that's a penalty, one way or the other.
Wait there. Wait there.
And we know which one it went.
It's gone to Featherstone Rovers. Scott Wealdon.
1.
Up for the challenge against his old club. Wildy pointing the way.
Surrender! Stand!
Ridyard. Little step from Ridyard, trying to ghost his way through. It was a good job. Chris Green got a hold of him, because Ridyard almost slipped the net there. Wildy will try. He's held up.
4. Musika!
They haven't given this up yet. Gareth Hock looking around, appealing. Ridyard's pass, but it's a poor one, and Ferrimo snaps it up. Now Ferrimo has Talapapa chasing him. He's got Talapapa on his heels. Robinson trying to get there, but the USA international will just have too much. And he grabbed the chance at the other end of the field. He's on his knees, but Hull FC now surely have seen off the defiant challenge of Featherstone Rovers. Second of the game for Beretta Ferrimo.
Yep, second try in 12 minutes. I've been waiting a while to see this guy in full flight, see what sort of pace. The ball comes from Hock, and it's a tip on attempt from Holmes here. Ball goes to ground. Ferrimo jumps at it, and then opens those legs. And that's what we've been waiting to see. That's what black and white fans have been waiting to see for quite some time this year. Faraimo at the double in a 12-minute spell.
Little juggle here, I think, by Ridyard gave Tom Holmes less time than he expected on the ball, and it forced him to tip the ball on without catching it and then passing it. I think that's how the passing movement broke down. That guy didn't wait, and while all that's happening, Bill, we see Faraimo dive in the corner. The two sides got together again.
Yeah, there was a bit of a discussion, really. A bit of pushing and shoving, nothing, no punches thrown or anything like that, but got a bit heated. And virtually everybody was involved, I think, apart
I can tell you one who was definitely involved.
Faraimo wasn't. And I don't think Missy Telapapa was.
I can tell you one that was.
I think I can guess.
Watch him not be involved.
Yeah. Him and maybe thinking another one in the blue shirts.
That's the reason for the delay in the conversion attempt anyway.
This
yeah,
game
referee had to get in and separate them.
This game going on a bit now with the injuries, the disciplinary stoppages. We've got another one now. They'll have reopened the motorway by the time this one's finished. Scott Mikolauskas striding back. No action taken. He might find something after the conversion from Jake Connor. Bit of niggle, bit of frustration. Just when Featherstone Rovers think they've got a scent of a chance to get back in, right then they squander possession and Hull punish them. Connor, wide out, oh, close. Jake Connor misses with his last two kicks. Hull lead by 38 points to 16.
We could see what they were thinking, the Featherstone Rovers. I think that's some members of the women's Featherstone Rovers rugby league team. But you could see what they were thinking. They tried to create the space. They tried to use those numbers. But Jake Connor came in and shut it down. The two captains are going to get spoken to now.
Players, okay? If that continues, I will take further action against both of your players. Okay? Speak to your players, sort it out. Okay?
So the referee asking Danny Washbrooker, I think, is captain on the field for Hull, and Martin Ridyard to sort things out. Speak to your players. I haven't seen either of them actually say anything to anybody.
They got a match to play. They never do. Speak to your players. Yeah, no problem.
Connor goes down as was it Scott Wheeldon came hurtling over.
He's got a big target on him at the minute. Jake Connor loves being in this position. He golds everybody. He spends a lot of the game just enticing people in.
This is no good.
No.
So he's now imploring the referee
to take a look. Exactly.
Now I hope hasn't got an injury, but he's pointing at his head and he's stopping it now because he's going to compel the video referee to get involved here. Contact with the head, penalty.
But if he gets up and play the ball, and this is the point that you're making, everybody plays on.
Yeah, but this is right. Okay, there's contact with the head. The players have got to decide. The players have got to decide whether or not this is acceptable. He's staying down here. He's refusing to play the ball until the referee and the video referee check that contact.
There you go.
Sort it out.
Referee awards the penalty for this challenge by Scott Wheeldon.
And that's a large part of Jake Connor's game. He niggles players, he gets into a game. Players end up losing their composure.
The problem is you're getting the players are now inviting the video referee in to make decisions. The players know they stay down. If there's foul contact with the head, stay down, and the video referee will be involved. Here we go.
Well, he's going to do very well is Scott Mikolauskas to keep a lid on this now. This has got real signs that this is going to boil over.
And he's got one or two people who are very capable of lighting. Well, I think the touch paper's been lit already, hasn't it? It's sort of smouldering. One or two fanning the flames.
Go.
There's Chris Green.
It's around the head again.
With a swinging arm. Joe Westerman upended.
Oh, come on. Goal 2.
Houghton. Jez Litton.
3. Move, Brad. Hold.
Hull inching their way forward. Houghton, little change of direction. Minichiello.
4. Move, Brad.
And that's 4 tackles gone this set of 6. Houghton, Westerman, very much involved. I think Featherstone have a full complement back on the field now. Oh, Litton ducks under the challenge from Davis. That's going to be another penalty. Well, Featherstone have got to be careful because they've got a couple of big games coming up. They've got Lee Centurions. This is as far as the championship top 4 goes. They've got Lee here, I think, next week, and then they've got Halifax.
These players aren't thinking about next week. They're not thinking about the next couple of minutes. They're thinking about every contact and collision.
He's looking for a scalp. There you go. That's the right decision.
They've only just got them with 1 man back from the sin, but now they've lost another one.
I don't have a problem with that. It's dumb play by John Davis.
Yeah, they're not thinking full stop. You were saying that the lid needs putting back on this game because that's just not acceptable.
No. And look at the length of the strides that he's taking there. He's not able to change his direction. And I'm a big fan of John Davis. I've watched him play for a lot of years for this club. And he is indicative of Featherstone at the minute. Their heads are on fire.
I think he just mistimed it. Here's Chris Green.
1. Move. Hold.
Green untangles himself, plays the ball. Jez Litton. Hadley comes back in field.
2. Move. Come on.
Wielden makes the tackle. Thackeray and Wildy there as well. Houghton's pass. Minichiello can't take it. Wildy snaps it up. And look at that from Thackeray. They might be well adrift in this game, but they're still competing ferociously.
This is up to the Super League side now to play with ice in the veins, cool heads, and just get through the next set in defence. Force the kick from Featherstone. They've already got this game won. You know, they don't need to descend and allow themselves to be disrupted into what Featherstone are trying to do now. They're trying to pull them off the game in other ways.
Well, they're trying to drag him into the trenches. We got a blow here that maybe tells the best way of avoiding that. You're playing against the side and they're determined to bring you down.
Well, I don't know really.
And I wasn't very successful of it.
Hot, beg your pardon, Minichiello on Luke Burgess.
Okay, so scrap that plan then, guys. The cool head plan's gone.
There's nothing wrong with that tackle. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that tackle.
There's a lot of in football, it's simulation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have we got simulation in this?
Oh yes.
Sport?
Don't think for a minute. We don't stop this. It doesn't. We don't have it in rugby league. They have it in football. That's gone.
Integrity
the players,
is part
exactly.
of our...
Listen, it's up to the players now to make a decision on this. It's not the referee's problem. The players of this game have got to make a decision. I'm sick of hearing this. We don't have it in this game. They have it in football. It is absolutely in this game.
Connor Farrell. Ooh, he's in pain. He was upended in that tackle, but gets to his feet and plays the ball. Here's Hock now. Hock, fist in the face of Chris Green. And Sikamanu's got a hold of him.
I think it's Chris Green gets the contact on him. Gareth Hock, another aggressive player. And when he plays it right, he's running full-blooded into that first challenge. Loses his focus. His focus is to keep hold of the ball, and he's lost that. He's more interested in perhaps giving Chris Green a bit of payback. There's a little bit of a tension at the bottom half of his body. His knee goes from under him.
You need to speak to Gareth and your players, sort out.
It's just ugly now.
Yeah.
Danny!
It's an ugly game.
So
penalty for a ball
Danny Hatton's
steal.
back on the field.
You need to speak to your players. Off you go. What are you doing, Matty?
Just Scott Mikolauskas having a word with Danny Houghton.
Wait there.
Penalty to Featherstone Rovers.
One. Hold.
They're about 20 metres out now, Featherstone. Wildy.
It's okay. Two.
Thackeray pinned to the ground by Faraimo. Wildy. Here's Connor Farrell.
Three.
About 5 metres out. Featherstone looking for a bit of glory at the end of this game. Hurtling onto the ball was Gareth Hock. He stopped in his tracks though. Holmes, short pass from him. They're over the line, and Josh Hardcastle has got the try. Or has he? The referee's going to the video ref again.
No try.
No try.
Check the grounding, please.
And it's whether Josh Hardcastle got that ball down or had control of it.
He hits that ball hard and straight. His legs are pumping. Shaw is in attention. Jez Litton. Does he get that ball?
He puts it on Jez Litton.
He does. He does. Good spot, Brian. He puts it. Wow. He does remarkably well, Jez Litton, to have the presence of mind just to keep his leg where it is. Then when he feels the pressure of the ball, he's lifting it, elevating it away. Does it touch the floor? That's a good angle to look at it. It went up as a no try. Right. Is that compelling evidence?
No, that's not touched the floor. I'll tell you what you can look at in the build-up to this is Tom Holmes again. You know, straightening up the defensive line, committing a defender, sticking him on his heels.
Go here. Jez Litton is still alive to it. He hasn't given up, because that's still live.
Hasn't he done well, Jez Litton?
Twice.
Yeah. Hooker by trade, Jez Litton, let's not forget. Playing in the halves this evening, defending for his life, like the scoreboards are locked up.
You need conclusive proof. It's gone up as a... You need conclusive proof that he's grounded that. Second time.
The other angle just gave me an element of doubt.
I understand that, yeah, you're right. If it had gone up as a try, Barry, then...
Yeah.
Phil Bentham having a good look at that one.
So it's a knock-on scrum to
It looks as though Featherstone Rovers are going to be denied.
Time on. No try. It's a scrum to Hull.
And Josh Hardcastle is denied.
Well, it's the right decision.
Scrum to Hull.
Look at the ball there from Tom Holmes. He puts Hardcastle into some space. Great line from him, and it's only the last-ditch efforts. Twice, once while looking at the referee from Jez Litton to prevent the try being scored.
Brilliant work. Brilliant work.
I mean, you wouldn't go off this, but the fact that he's tried again to get it down would suggest that he didn't feel he got it down first time. He's had a second snatch at it. Litton's had an answer both times. That's brilliant defensive play. Really, really good. And you're right, Barry. Presence of mind, put his feet there and then stay alive to the fact that the ball was still in play.
Into the last 10 minutes. Hull ahead by 38 points to 16, on course for only their third away win of the season. They've won at Hull KR, that was the Good Friday win. They won at Widnes. Other than that, they haven't been great on their travels. And this hasn't been a particularly happy voyage in terms of, OK, they're going to get the win, they're going to go through to the quarter-finals, but more injuries for Hull FC to contend with. And there's still 10 minutes to go, 9 minutes to go.
But I think, Bill, what happened with the Featherstone Rovers nearly scoring that try, that will pick their minds up again. They've no longer got it effectively down in the gutter, trying to fight the way into the last 10 minutes. They'll pick something up and think, well, come on, let's play with the ball, let's play the right game and see if we can get over the try line again.
That looked high.
It was higher than the one that was given, put it that way.
Sika Manu on Luke Burgess, and Manu penalised then.
But what Brian is saying is a player, whether it's a high tackle or not, shouldn't wait for the whistle. Get up and play the ball.
No, he should wait for the whistle. We have an issue. If he's been hit in the head, we have a system now where he's almost compelled to stay down and bring it to the attention. This is the problem that we have. He's been hit in the head. We're encouraging him to get up, but he knows if he stays down, his team have a penalty.
Brian.
Yeah, I get that.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
the system is almost forcing them to do it.
Oh, the ball put down. Chris Green picks it up, and Hull have it back.
Stand! 0. Go.
Maybe some of the spite has gone out of this contest as we head towards the final hooter.
Move! Hold.
There's a simple mistake. Green picks it up, finds an offload. Hull FC, will they finish with a try? Plenty of time still to go in this game.
Move! Hold.
But field position and possession gives them an advantage.
That goes down as well. So both sides guilty of squandering possession, and Luke Burgess back from the sin bin picks the ball up.
0.
The pass just overcooked to Mark Minicello, who checked his run.
Well, Hull will be relieved to get out of Featherstone with the win, with their place in the next round, because this has been a graveyard for one or two sides in Cup history. Wigan have lost against Featherstone Rovers. Okay, that was back in 1952, but and the slope was a bit more pronounced then. The referee's called time off again.
Well, the touch judge has felt left out. I think he wants to get involved in the action as well. Seen something in the tackle. This is the report from the touch judge.
And you'd imagine the video referee.
The tackle by Washbrook. Just put it into the player's head off the ground.
Danny Washbrook.
Danny Washbrook, yeah. Used his knee in the tackle.
Okay. Danny Washbrook.
It's Danny Washbrook. Who's going to go for the single?
Is that 3 or 4 now?
3
Hit the road check.
Well, got on Scott Nikolowskis. He set a precedent there with his first one.
He might have got 3 out because he missed one. The Talapapa one was a dead set yellow. Danny Washbrook.
Nice touch from the guy in charge of the music, as was pre-kick-off with the celebration of that Challenge Cup meeting 35 years ago. So he had lots of 1980s music, which kept a lot of old-timers very happy.
Oh, good hands
done by Holmes, and Holmes gets the pass away. Lockwood didn't have the pace to make most of the opportunity. Here's Holmes again. They will make the most of the opportunity this time, and Hock will celebrate with the try. And with a man in the sin bin, Hull were found out in terms of numbers, and Gareth Hock, the old stager, gets his second try of the season's first cup try.
Well, here's the penalty. Went to the sin bin for that offence. Danny Washbrook. Simple play, running hard, finding the space, and Gareth Hock, very difficult to stop going down that slope. He gets a try. Made a real difference when he entered the arena. A lot of positive stuff in that first half. Been a fabulous player over the years, Gareth Hock, and giving good service to Featherstone Rovers this year.
Ridyard from wide out. Oh, drags it across the face of the posts. 20 points to 38. Under 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, but you could see in the build-up, that's a great take from Tom Holmes. 2 efforts in 2 plays. First, the straighten up and the ball to Lockwood, and then off the subsequent play, Cale Carlisle pushes him out the way. Again goes at the line. Lovely soft hands for Gareth Hock. Tom Holmes, excellent, albeit probably in defeat for the Featherstone Rovers, as they see one of their best, Talapapa, leave the field as well. He's not looking too clever either.
Really has been a battle of attrition, this game. It's gone on so long. The end is in sight. Gareth Hock might have had the final word. As Missy Talapapa is taken to the sidelines. And Jake Connor gets us underway again. Hull heading for the quarterfinals. The cup holders who haven't been beaten in the Challenge Cup for almost 3 years. And they're looking to join an elite band of clubs to win the trophy 3 times in a row. And Wigan, of course, the record holders with that imperious run of theirs between 1988 and 1995, and in the summer era, Saints completed 3 consecutive cup triumphs between 2006 and 2008. Now, Hull maybe have the chance to join them. Quarterfinals next for the Black and Whites. Will they have enough players?
Well, they're down to the bare bones, aren't they? This is what you like from the Featherstone Rovers. They've got great shape, good structure, and some halves there that can really engage a defensive line.
Holmes, once a Castleford Tigers player, Tom Holmes. And Featherstone haven't finished yet. Here's Connor Farrell trying to force his way to the try line. It was on the last.
Controlled, okay.
That'll be the turnover.
Good defence from Hull.
Length of the field from Featherstone Rovers there. A bit of control with the ball, shifting the ball from one side to the other. The hallmark of John Duffy's sides, whether it's Swinton or it's Featherstone Rovers, is they really test and challenge defences. They've not hardly had any opportunities to do that this evening, partly down to their own mistakes and their own lack of discipline, partly down to Featherstone's defence as well.
Oh, Musumatongo is tipped on his back by Brad Knowles, and Jake Connor didn't like that.
Off you go. Time's off.
I think he's met a kindred spirit in hasn't he?
Well, he's such a talented player, is Connor, but this is the side of his game that I think undermines all the other stuff he does. He reacts to a foul play from the opposition, but just takes it that step too far. He's been responsible this evening for 18 of Hull's 38 points, plus 2 try assists. All that good work, and you threaten to undermine it and undo it by actions like that, unnecessary really, because the penalty was coming. It's one thing looking to defend a player, but there's no need to carry it on now.
Well, you know, that's one thing, John, you're right, there's a bit of belligerence. That's a ridiculous tackle.
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, here we go.
It's fair enough.
Fair enough. With 2 minutes to go. And Jake Connor is being summoned to the referee. He might be going in the same direction. He is.
Hold on, Bill.
How many is that now? Is that 5, I think? Should have been 6.
Should have been 6.
Does that qualify as an ill-tempered game, Bill?
Jake Connor just saying a final farewell.
He won't enjoy watching this game. No moments of this game will give him any joy or pleasure. The only good thing is they're in the hat for the next round.
Up to the halfway line from that penalty.
Couple of minutes.
2 minutes on the clock. Hull FC on the way through.
We'll get there eventually.
And the clock restarts. John Davis hurtling into the challenge on Sika Manu.
Hold, go.
Houghton, Hull will just be happy to hear the final hooter here. They've lost players to injury, and they're into the quarterfinals. That's the key factor, but it won't be much consolation. Well,
Featherstone have gone out at the cup stage, at the 6th-round stage, but they've really advertised themselves as a place that, when the qualifiers come, that no one is going to want to come and play. This is a tough ground to come and play, and this is a tough set of opposition, isn't it?
There could be some disciplinary fallout to this one.
5. Move, Connor! Release Sam.
Westerman. And Old Faithful. Final salutation from the FC supporters as Luke Briscoe, who personally has had a triumphant night. 2 tries.
It's a record. It's a record. Hey, fair play to Scott Mikulauskis. Every single one of those cards has been justified, and there was an argument for another one for missing Salapapa's tackle, because it's a deliberate attempt to slow down the play. That's sportsmanship, gamesmanship, should I say?
Oh dearie me today. Oh dear. Faraimo has come flying in there. No, more like a flymo. And the referee stopped the clock again. 30 seconds to go.
Does the referee bother putting the cards back in his pocket?
Hock and Griffin going, oh yes.
There we go. That's the first punch that's been thrown all night, and it has been bubbling away for about an hour of this game. There's going to be another card here.
I'm just slightly at a loss as to how many players are on the field at the moment. The hoot has sounded. Scott Mikulauskis has had a horrid.
I'll tell you what, he won't play a Magic Weekend.
Well, 1 or 2 others might not be making the trip.
They've had hard luck with injuries. They've had bad luck. That again is dumb play by the player.
Gareth, go that way. Just take the plays that way. Danny, take plays that way. Take plays that way.
Who'd be a match official?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, he's revelling in this.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting day at the office for him.
Okay.
I think Brian makes a really perfect
3 more.
We might end up with Brett Faraimo seeing a red card just to round this game off.
3 more. Come here. It's direct contact with the head.
He is.
There you go.
And that about sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's arguably the most costly action of the entire game.
He's saying wow, and I'm not sure whether that's reference to the referee's decision or Beretta Faraimo's decision to fly in there and make direct contact with the head. Unnecessary, you've won the game.
I think it's just for the game in general. Both coaches are stood on the sideline looking at each other saying, how was this? How has this 80 minutes developed?
Well, that's the. I mean, they got dragged into it. They got dragged into the trenches and into a scrap. I get that. But he's got to be better than that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
There must be more than that. Well, apologies for any of the bad language that you'll have heard. That's the least of the worries. Beretta Faraimo sent off for the 2nd time this season. He saw red on Good Friday at Hull KR. He was on the receiving end of Deck Patton's tackle, of course, when Patton got sent off. And now Faraimo has been given his marching orders again.
Does this count, Bill, as a bad-tempered game?
I just think it should finish.
It's a bad game. That's what it is. It's a bad game.
We'll get final touch of the ball. And the players, 1 or 2 shake hands. And Lee Radford's side have made it through. But this has not been a night to remember for the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup. 6 sin bins, 1 player sent off, Beretta Faraimo at the end. There is actually a man of the match. Let's find out who that is with Angela.
Joe Burton's about to give the man of the match. He's the sponsorship events manager for Ladbrokes to Jake Connor. Jake, that was a bad-tempered game, but you got the win, and you're on your on your way to Wembley again.
Yeah, it is what it is. You know, they're a good team, Featherstone. You know, we didn't underestimate them. As you can see, they threw the ball around pretty well. So, you know, it caused us a few problems, but you know, we're just happy to get the win and move on from this game. You know, it's been a bit scrappy, but we knew it were going to be like that. So yeah, we'll move on from this.
Man of the match, and you spent the last bits of the game in the sin bin.
Yeah, out of all the things I've done, I don't think that were a sin binning, but like I said, it was a bit scrappy, but I'm just happy to get the win and get the team into the next round.
They really got in your head in the second half, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what it's like. You've got to meet 505 sometimes. We knew what they were like. They got Gazok in middle. He brings the aggression. So you know, wind a few players up and they make rash decisions. But you know, I enjoyed that game, and like I said, move on from this, and you know, we've got OKR big game next week.
That's it. A few sin binnings there and a few injuries. It's quite a costly game.
Yeah, we're doing it tough. You know, obviously we've lost Albert Kelly, Mark Sneed, Josh Bowden in that game, Carlos and Fatuli, and you know, and B's just got a red card, so it's not looking good for us, but we'll make do what we've got.
Well, congratulations on the man of the match. I'm going to go and see if we can find your coach now. Thanks, Jake. I think he might be just around here. Lee Radford? There he is. Lee, I've never watched a game like that before. Injuries, sin bins, red cards. Sum it up.
I've watched plenty like that in the Ulland District League, the old pub league. That's what it looked like that last 20 minutes.
What are your thoughts on it?
Disgusting, yeah. Not pretty spectacle, unfortunately. I'd like to apologise to all the viewers.
Aside from that, the injuries as well, you are really counting them off these days.
Yeah, no, I was struggling for numbers, struggling for tropes, but you know, I'll be next man up, and that next man will probably be a young kid, but he'll be flying, he'll be bouncing, ready for a shot at OKR next week.
You're talking about dropping some as well as injuries as well.
Say that again, sorry.
You're talking about dropping people as well as the injuries.
No. I mean, in terms of injuries, yeah, promoting people because of the injuries. You know, we'll have some young blokes on the pitch, but they'll be bouncing and ready.
That's the whole KR Magic Weekend. You really need bodies on the pitch for that.
Yeah, you've got to be excited for that one.
Thanks very much for your time.